Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel with Rachel's Nook. Today I'm very excited because we are going to do one of my favorite ferments, green apple jalapeno hot sauce. So let's go over to the kitchen and get started. Okay friends, so we're in here in the kitchen, and as you can see I already have things set out and I've already gotten started on some of it. I just wanted to show you the supplies that you need. You are going to need a 32-ounce mason jar. You're going to need a weight, you're going to need a burper, and you're going to need the lid, the ring, excuse me. And then we're going to need jalapenos, 3 to 4, depending on your preference. I like to use 4 if they're a good size, sometimes 5 if they're a little smaller. 1 apple, and we may not use this whole apple. You're going to need about 3 to 4 garlic cloves. Sometimes I use 5. I had a little smaller one extra left over, so I put it in with it. You're going to need small onion. Now this will be probably a third of this onion, but we'll see how it goes. I had 1 jalapeno left to slice up to show you the thickness of the slices. We're going to need non-chlorinated water, this measuring cup, and then I also use Redmond's real salt. So it's going to be a salt brine. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do, I don't know if this is probably about 1 inch to 1/2 inch slices of this jalapenos, seeds and all. And we're going to get that sliced up. And then we'll probably get started on the apple next. And I have an extra bowl over here. It's just kind of for trashes and things, you know, the scraps. I try to use every part that I can. There we go. Okay, let's just put that over here in the bowl until we're ready for those. All right, and then we've already got our garlic. These are already taken off. The hulls are taken off. We're just going to cut the top off. I like to do that. I mean, I guess you don't really have to, but I do. So it's up to you. Now I have a couple of them that I have not taken out of their shells. So we're just going to press down like that. Take them out of their shell or their hull, however you want to call it. All right. And one more. And I'm just going to throw these on top. Those are going to be on the very top of the jar, but I'll set them aside for right now. Get that out of there. And one more. Get a little bad area cut off. All right. Okay, those are done. Let's go ahead and get this onion done. So I'm going to go ahead and slice the whole onion. Whether I use it in this recipe or not, I can always use it for something else, which is just fine. So this is one of my favorite recipes, and I have enjoyed it ever since. I can't make enough of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop this onion in half, and then we're just going to slice it. Just like that. Small, don't have to be real thick. Small slices. Get that sliced up. I had my other knife out, but unfortunately it needs to be sharpened, and I will get to that later. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Whether we use it or not, it's such a small onion. I can just put it in a bag and put it in the fridge for something else later. There we go. Okay, so next is going to be your green apple. So between the jalapenos and the apple, this just really makes the recipe. And I also, as you've seen if you've been to my channel already, which it's just started, I also grow indoors. And so I have cilantro freshly grown that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to do slices on this. Sorry, this is probably in your camera view. There we go. Small slices, not too thick. And again, I am probably going to go ahead and slice the rest of this up. Probably leave this half over here. I'll put that to the side, but I'm going to slice the rest of it up. Recipe that I found. And by the time it's all said and done, it takes about 5 to 6 days to ferment. And once it's ready, we are going to put it in a blender, blend it up, and then we are going to put it in this wine bottle. And that wine bottle holds exactly that 32 ounce by the time it's all said and done. So we'll get finished slicing on this. There we go. One more. Okay, that's perfect. So now we have our garlic, we've got our jalapenos, we've got our onions, and we've got our green apple. Okay, so basically if you are buying the cilantro from the store, you will need about 4 to 5 sprigs, depending on how much you like. I usually go with 4 sprigs if I'm getting it from the store. I have some growing, so I am going to use it. It's just getting started, so I picked what would be equivalent, I guess, to 4 good-sized sprigs. So, so that's ready now. Okay, so basically now we are going to layer it. So we're going to go ahead and grab our mason jar, set that over here. You can see everything. Get that aside. Okay, so first we are going to put in the jalapenos. Those seem to do better on the bottom. We're going to put those in, and if you have a canning funnel, that would be great to use. I actually have a couple of them because I also do canning. So I've got that set on there. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and put in our jalapenos. Oh, and there's some pretty red ones in there, and a little on the ripe side, so that's another reason why I wanted to use this up, so nothing goes to waste. I'm going to put that in the sink, excuse me, in the camera. All right, so I'm going to put my hand in there, and I'm just going to kind of push it down a little bit. You know, jalapenos don't really burn my hands too much, but if they burn yours, then you might want to put on some gloves. That way your hands aren't burning later, because that will happen. And next I'm going to go ahead and put in the apple slices. And I like to put a good little amount in there. You know, I said I was going to save that other part of that apple for later, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and probably eat it. So, and that looks pretty in the jar as it gets in there. All right, so a few more to go. There's not much to it. Fermenting is a really great thing. It's a skill that has been done for many, 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 many years. And unfortunately, if we don't get the skills back again, we're going to forget them, and we don't want to do that, because this is a wonderful way to preserve food. So you definitely want to do that. Okay, so I have my onion, which I'm probably not going to use all of it, because I mean, I love onion actually, but I don't want to put a ton of it in there because I don't want it to be overpowering from everything else. So probably about, I don't know, a third of that onion, which was a very small one too. So I'll take the rest of that and just put it aside and use it for something else. So now we are going to put in our garlic cloves and put those right in there. There we go. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. One small one there. Okay, so we got that. And the last to go on top is going to be our little sprigs. I just started my cilantro, but I did have enough, so this will do just fine. So get that put in there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make our salt brine. And I use Redmond's real salt for that. And it's a teaspoon of Redmond's real salt to 1 cup of non-chlorinated water. So I'm going to use a bottle of water. And if you have well water is fine. There's no chlorine in that. So anything that's non-chlorinated. So we're going to go ahead and measure that out to about a cup. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and get the Redmond's real salt. Have that over here. And we're going to measure out 1 teaspoon. Go. Okay. Give that a good stir. Good stir. Get all that mixed in good. This is the salt brine. This is what's going to help it to ferment. Like I said, it's a very fast ferment. So it does not take long at all. Like I said, 5 to 6 days. And then it will be ready, and we will dump it out into a blender, and we will blend it right up. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit more water. I need a little bit more water. About 1/4 cup, maybe. There we go. Let's try that, because there's a little salt left down in there too. I'll just mix that around and use that up. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And then from here, we are going to take our weight. These mason top weights are wonderful. They also have different weights that they sell on Amazon. That's where I got these. They have different brands, but I prefer to have the mason top. I like the way that you can grab a hold of it. So we're going to take that. This is for a wide mouth jar. We're going to take that and we're going to kind of push it down. Get it. Everything underneath the liquid. Give it a good push. Everything underneath the liquid. That's perfect. Perfect. And also, sometimes you'll have a little jalapeno seed come up or something like that. So I try to get those out of there. And of course, you know, we always start with clean hands, and I probably should have said that in the beginning. But since this is my only second time of doing a video, I'm getting used to the whole important rundown, but I did wash my hands beforehand. So next we are going to take our burper. This here is going to let gases release as it's fermenting. That way it doesn't just blow its top. So you have to have some kind of burper on here so that it does not blow its top, because it will start to bubble. So then we take our ring and just screw it down. Get it set on there. There we go. Give it a good twist. And that's it. And look at those beautiful layers. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So we're going to let this ferment for 5 to 6 days. And then after that, I will get back on here and we will put it in the blender, blend it up. We're going to put it in this wine bottle and then it goes in the fridge. And it lasts in the fridge for about 6 months and sometimes more, but it won't last that long. I usually go through one of these wine bottles in a month. So it is very, very delicious. Anyway, thank you for coming over to my channel again, and I hope you enjoyed it.